The story begins with an elderly woman named Lily. Lily, recently widowed, sits sadly before the urn, containing her husband's ashes. Looking at an old photograph of herself and her husband, she reminisces about their first meeting and then steps out into the snowy weather. She loads some essential supplies into her truck, places the photo on the dashboard, and embarks on a long icy journey to fulfill her husband's final wish. She intends to scatter his ashes in the very same frozen lake where they first met many years ago. Meanwhile, the radio warns of extreme cold and heavy snowfall, advising people to avoid unnecessary travel. After driving some distance, the snow begins to ice over Lily's truck, making it very difficult to see the road ahead. She manages to pull over in a sheltered spot and takes out a map, trying to figure out the way to the lake. But she can't determine which direction to take stepping out of the truck. She sinks into thought, wondering what to do next. Just then, she hears a faint clattering sound in the distance. She gets back in her truck and drives toward the noise, eventually arriving at a secluded snow-covered cabin. There she sees an old man chopping wood. As Lily approaches him, her eyes catch sight of bloodstains on the ground. The old man, startled by her sudden appearance, looks up sharply. Lily smiles and says, "I'm sorry. I didn't mean to startle you. I just wanted to ask for directions to the lake." The old man tells her the lake is just over the hill. Lily thanks him and asks, "Are you okay? There's blood here." The old man replies, "Oh, that's just deer blood." Lily tells him to take care and leaves, getting back in her truck. Navigating the snow-filled paths, she finally reaches the lake. This is the very lake where Lily and her husband first met. Overwhelmed with emotion, Lily's eyes fill with tears as she remembers the past, how they used to come here together, sitting side by side ice fishing. Just as she is about to scatter her husband's ashes into the lake, a gunshot suddenly rings out nearby. Frightened by the sound, Lily quickly runs and hides behind her truck. She then sees a girl stumbling as she runs near the lake, pursued by the same old man, now carrying a rifle. He yells at the girl, "If you try to run again, I'll shoot you." He threatens her and starts forcing her back toward his cabin. Lily tries to call the police, but there's no network signal. She hurriedly gathers her things and tries to drive away, but her truck gets stuck in the snow. Forced to act, she makes her way back toward the man's cabin. She suddenly sees the old man driving away in his truck. Seizing the opportunity, Lily approaches the cabin. Peering through a basement window, she sees the same girl tied up inside, her mouth taped shut. Lily whispers, "Are you alone?" The girl nods yes. Just then, two vehicles pull up. The old man returns, and with him is his wife, who is also carrying a rifle. Lily hides outside, listening intently to their conversation. From their conversation, she realizes that the man had kidnapped the girl on his wife's orders. Now they are planning to kill her. Lily writes a message on the glass with her finger, promising the girl, "I'm here. I won't leave you." She then runs quickly back to her truck to figure out a plan to help the girl. Meanwhile, back in the cabin, the old man's wife starts bleeding from her nose. Suddenly, she spots a girl's glove outside the cabin. This makes her suspicious that someone else is there. When she looks at the girl and sees Lily's message written on the window, she becomes certain that someone outside is trying to help. Enraged, she asks her husband, "Whose message is this?" Her husband replies, "I don't know. A woman named Lily came by a while ago asking for directions to the lake. Maybe she wrote it." Panicking, the wife says if that woman saw anything, everything will be ruined. She grabs her rifle, forces her husband to go with her, and heads to the lake, intending to deal with Lily. However, Lily has already set a trap. She uses her husband's old ice fishing shed as bait. As the old man approaches the shed, he suddenly falls through a hole. Lily had prepared and plunges into the icy lake water. His wife pulls him out. Seizing this opportunity, Lily rushes back to the cabin to save the girl. She manages to break down the basement door, but upon reaching the girl, she finds her chained up and locked. The girl is terrified. Lily reassures her, "I will save you." Lily then goes back upstairs, turns on a water faucet and clogs the sink, causing the cabin to flood. Her plan is to extinguish the fire and soak all their supplies. But as she exits, the old man's wife shoots at her, hitting Lily in the hand. Lily manages to escape and disappears into the snow. When the couple returns to the cabin, they find it filled with water. The water has even reached the girl in the basement. The old man, having fallen in the lake, is shivering violently from the cold. To make matters worse, Lily had soaked their bag and fire-starting supplies. Lily returns to her truck and tries to treat her wound. It is then she realizes her wedding ring is missing. Her heart sinks. She runs back to the hole by the lake but cannot find the ring, which causes her great sorrow. She remembers the moment her husband proposed and begins to cry. Then, her eyes fall on the old man's rifle lying on the ground. Looking at it, Lily says, "I have to save that girl." She starts heading back toward the cabin. Meanwhile, we see the old man, whose condition is deteriorating badly due to the cold. His wife is leading him to their car so he can get some warmth from the heater, but his condition remains critical. He tells his wife, "I can't walk. My clothes are still wet." But his wife says, "We don't have much time. We have to finish everything before morning." She tells him, "I worked in an operating theater for 10 years. I know what I'm doing. We have to do the operation by the lake so that after the snowfall, the police won't find any evidence. And once the job is done, we'll find Lily and kill her too." The two of them then forcefully bring the girl toward the car. But then, the old man notices his rifle is missing and panics. Hearing this, his wife becomes furious. She slaps him hard and tells him to go to the lake and start preparing. The old man, struggling under the weight of the heavy equipment, somehow makes it to the lake and begins his grim task so that when his wife returns with the girl, they can finish their work. Lily, watching all this, seizes the opportunity to sneak back into the cabin to save the girl. But when she looks in the basement, the girl is gone. Using the old man's tools, Lily manages to remove the bullet from her hand and bandage her own wound. Afterwards, she goes outside, breaks the window of the old man's car, and uses its radio to transmit. "There are 2 people here who have kidnapped a girl. We need your help. The girl is in great danger. I'm also injured. Please help us as soon as possible." She tries to give her location. But just then the old man arrives. He attacks Lily, trying to kill her. In self-defense, Lily fights back with a hammer and then points the rifle at him. The old man pleads, "Don't kill me. It's not my fault." He then tells her the whole truth. "My wife is sick. That's why I have to do all this. I didn't want to do any of it. They chose this girl because she had tried to kill herself before." He says, "I realize my mistake now. The cold has made my condition very bad. I just need a doctor." He also returns Lily's ring to her. "I found this in the cabin," he says. Hearing all this, Lily feels pity for him, but she still doesn't fully trust him. She tells him, "If you are truly a good man, go to the town and send the police. Then go to the doctor." The old man promises her and, shivering, goes to his truck. He gives Lily his remaining bullets and then drives away. He hasn't gone far when his wife intercepts him. She is furious to see him. "Why did you leave the spot?" she demands. The old man says, "The cold has made me very sick. My leg is also injured, so I'm going to the doctor." But his wife says, "For that, you should have asked me. You weren't going to the doctor. You were running away from me." The old man tells her, "This madness, we should leave it here and now." But his wife is stubborn and refuses to listen. "I can't let this opportunity go," she says. "We just have to get to the lake." The old man asks her, "Are you sure that doctor will still be there?" He tries to reason with her for a long time. "We still have time," he says. "We can fix everything." But then, blood starts flowing from his wife's nose. She says, "If I leave here, I will die. You just want to get rid of me." She then points the gun at her husband. Meanwhile, we see Lily, remembering her days of pregnancy, making a plan to secure her truck. She recalls the moment she learned she had lost her baby and how her husband had said, "We'll try again. Everything will be okay." Somehow she manages to push her truck into the lake and sets it on fire so the police will know where she is. A little while later, Lily hears the sound of a vehicle. She quickly moves toward it and sees 2 police officers in a truck. Lily tells them the whole truth. The police officers agree to help her. Lily leads them to the cabin, where the old man's wife's car is already parked. The 2 police officers approach the woman's car. But then she comes out of the house and shoots both of them dead. She also fires shots at Lily, who returns fire, hitting the woman in the leg. Lily runs for cover toward the woman's car. But then inside the car she sees the dead body of the old man. His own wife had killed him. Lily hides behind the cabin to save herself. But the woman shoots, causing part of the roof there to collapse. In her dazed state, Lily remembers the day her husband died. She had been making breakfast for him, and he had passed away just sitting in his chair. He had been ill. When she regains consciousness, she finds herself tied up alongside the girl. Here, Lily learns the innocent girl's name is Tina. Lily manages to free her hands from the restraints. She starts looking for a way out of the basement and finds an exit door. However, before she can escape, the old man's wife sees her and slams the door shut. Here, Lily recalls her husband's last wish, in which he had written that his ashes should be scattered in this lake because it held his fondest memories. The next morning, the woman brings Lily and Tina to the edge of the lake, where her husband had already set up a makeshift medical camp. Seeing a human liver transplant kit inside, Lily realizes what the woman intends to do. The woman plans to remove Tina's liver and transplant it into herself. Lily pleads with her, "Let Tina go and take my liver instead." But the woman angrily retorts, "You're of no use to anyone now." She orders Lily to tie Tina's hands to the table. On purpose, Lily ties Tina's hands loosely and slips a nail into her palm, so she can free herself. Afterwards, the woman shoots Lillian hastily begins preparing to operate on Tina, but Lily is still alive. She gets up and attacks the woman, stabbing her with the scissors. A fierce struggle breaks out between them, and during the fight a lantern falls, starting a fire below. Fighting, the two of them roll out of the tent and scramble for the rifle, but the woman manages to grab it. Just as she is about to shoot Lily, she discovers the rifle is out of bullets. Enraged, she starts dragging Lily toward the same hole by the lake where her husband had fallen, the very hole Lily had prepared earlier. Meanwhile, on the other side, Tina, mustering all her strength, uses the nail Lily gave her to free herself. She breaks loose and escapes the burning tent. Before the woman can turn on Tina, Lily handcuffs one end to the woman's ankle and the other to her own wrist, then throws herself into the hole. Tina jumps into the hole to try and save Lily, but by then Lily has already sunk below the surface. Tina is heartbroken and begins to cry. We then see Lily taking her last breaths. In her hand is the urn containing her husband's ashes. She opens it and scatters his ashes into the lake. In this way, Lily gives her life to fulfill her husband's final wish. At the same time, she also keeps her promise to Tina to save her life. Above, Tina finds the photograph of Lily and her husband. She carefully keeps it with her and slowly begins to walk away through the cold. In the final scene, we see the moment the photograph was taken, Lily and her husband, happy together at that very lake. The story ends with this scene. Thank you for watching the video.